short meeting, I hope. Okay, I'd like to open the Inland Wetland Watercourse Commission regular meeting of Tuesday, November 2nd, 2021. Seating of alternates. We don't have, Mike's not here, so we can, no seating. Item 2 is to review and approve the minutes of the September 7th, 2021 meeting. I assume everybody got a copy of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Y'all read it?
Yep.
Anybody feel like, oh, Mike, you just came on, Mike? Oh, go back to item number 1. Mike, you can sit for Jack Barkley today.
Yes, I'm here. I'm happy to sit.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we're just reviewing the minutes of September 7th meeting. Does anybody have any additions, corrections, or anything? None? Okay, anyone like to make a,
We accept them as presented.
okay, Valerie Peters said he'd make a motion to accept them. Okay, have a second. Rick has a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, thank you. Joe, any additions to the agenda this evening?
Not that I know of.
Great. No old business. So we'll move
Nope.
on to item 5, which is our new business. IW 2109 Colts Pond Road, Mr. Scott Roy's construction of a single-family residence. So we're receiving this application today, and it looks like we got quite a bit of information. We've got a nice site plan, an application. Did we get a wetlands report? I know there is a wetland agent. Did anybody see a wetland report?
No.
Okay,
No, I didn't. I did not either.
okay. All right, so, okay, Joe, you want to walk us through it real quick?
Is anybody from Boundaries?
Yes,
with us tonight?
this is David McKay from Boundaries LLC.
Go for it, Dave.
All right, thanks, Joe. Again, my name is David McKay with Boundaries LLC, here on behalf of the applicant and property owner, Mr. Scott Royce. I can share my screen if that's all right. I could bring up the site plan for all to see. Otherwise, I could just give a brief rundown through the project.
Okay, you should be able to share your screen.
Okay. All right, is the site plan showing up?
Yep.
Okay,
It's not
good.
very big, though.
No, I'll zoom in, and this is just overall site plan of the property. This is access from Colts Pond Road. Down in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, it is a rear lot that was created by subdivision in 1992, and it has a shared driveway with 96. This is an overall view of the property, and it also has the original subdivision plan in the background, just so we can see that generally we're consistent with what was originally. So it's a little messy with the two maps right on top of each other, but here's the existing driveway starting at Colts Pond Road, extending up the flag of the lot in between two wetlands. An existing wetlands crossing was constructed with two drainage pipes, one here and one here, as part of the original construction of the driveway. And then at this location here, the driveway would split. Right now, it just enters 96 Colts Pond Road at the top of the screen, and we're proposing to extend that driveway to the east or the right-hand side of the page. See, proposed drive here from the original subdivision actually clips a little bit of wetlands that was delineated as part of our 2021 wetlands delineation that wasn't included in 1992. So we are moving the location of that driveway in between the leg of that larger wetlands and an isolated pocket of wetlands right there. Driveway comes up to the original building site. We have our house here, and theirs was right there. And then another wetland area that's a little bit larger, you can see in 2021, and the septic system here, right on top of the original proposed primary and reserve areas. Now I will switch over to a clearer plan. This is that same sheet, just doesn't have the original subdivision plan behind it. And you can see here in blue is the limits of the inland wetlands. The larger wetland here, where my cursor is, the two pipes crossing under the existing driveway right there to the wetland area over here. That small isolated wetland I had mentioned that we are kind of shooting the gap with our proposed driveway, and then the wetland at the northern limit of the property. And then in red is the upland review area limits. So you can see that almost all of this property is in the upland review area. Just this little area here where the proposed house is going is outside of that. There's three parts to the development of this project. First is going to be improvements to this existing driveway to meet current zoning regulations for a shared driveway. Right now, the driveway is about 13 to 14 feet wide, and current zoning requires an 18-foot width for the driveway. So I will zoom in here, and we can see that we have called out here to add 8 feet of 15-inch HDPE to accommodate the 18-foot shared driveway width. As it stands right now, the existing pipe ends just a couple feet off of the edge of the existing gravel driveway. So in order to add the additional width needed to driveway width for the shared driveway, we have to extend that drain pipe, which includes filling this section of wetlands right here, along with extending that drain. And we're looking at 75 square feet of fill in order to accommodate that additional 8 feet of 15-inch HDPE, which gives us the width to allow us to extend our driveway to meet zoning for the shared drive. And then over here is the existing 18-inch corrugated metal pipe culvert, and that, as you can see, is plenty long enough. No need to extend that. We're just able to widen the driveway without having any wetland fill. And then the next part of the project, once the existing driveway is improved, is to construct our new driveway to access the house site. As I mentioned before, that driveway will be splitting the difference in between the extension of that larger wetlands that crosses under the existing portion of the driveway and the small isolated wetlands here. And I was out here after we had that pretty torrential downpour over the summer, and there was no evidence of water flowing between these two wetlands after that storm, just some standing water in each. Get up to our proposed house site with our well in the front, house here, some of it outside of the upland review area, septic tank here outside of the upland review area, and then our primary row for the septic system and our reserve area for the septic system. And we have received Eastern Highlands Health District approval of the septic system design that should have been included with the application documents. So that's sheet one of our plan set, gives an overall view of the entire project. And then sheet two just shows the work on our property a little bit more zoomed in, with additional notes and details about slope of the driveway, silt fence along this side of the driveway, since the grade pitches towards this way. A maximum slope of 9% on the driveway, meeting zoning regulations. well with its 75-foot radius entirely within the property limits. Proposed 3-bedroom home with a 2-car garage, and then septic system design and notes. And then sheet number 3 has standard details, including the erosion control details, either for sediment fence or a wood chip berm at the down gradient limits of project disturbance, an anti-tracking pad to be installed at the limits of the existing gravel drive as they're working to build the new driveway. For our gravel driveway surface, septic system details, cross-section on the driveway. It's required to be 18 feet wide for the shared portion and 14 feet wide in other areas. Septic system cross-section and notes pertaining to the design and construction of the septic system, and also maintenance and operation of the erosion controls. I will flip back to the layout plan, and I guess that kind of takes us through our project, and be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, David. I didn't quite hear everything that you said. You were going in and out, but the plan is pretty well done. So I think I followed you pretty closely. So we'll just go around the room real quick. Cheryl, do you have any questions or comments?
No, and I know we're just receiving the application today, but one thing I wondered is if we could get some photographs of that spot where the wetlands being filled in, or maybe take a site walk, one or the other.
Peter, do you have anything to add?
I was wondering too, if we shouldn't have a site walk on this.
Okay, we'll address that at the end. Rick, do you have any questions or comments?
It was frustrating. You seem to have given a very thorough presentation, but unfortunately I only got about 60% of it, because I could hear you perfectly, and then I could almost hear you, and then it kept coming in and out, in and out, in and out. So you might want to check that for your next meeting. I don't think I thought maybe it was on my end, but it sounds like everybody got the same thing. I could see your mouth going. I know you were doing well, but I just couldn't hear you.
I apologize for that.
Yeah, no problem. I'd like to see some information about the wetlands. I assume that would be something that you could address in a wetlands report.
Yes.
And that's been discussed earlier. I looked it over pretty well before the meeting, and I don't have a lot of concerns or issues with it. It looks pretty straightforward. It's too bad you have to widen the driveway, but that's what zoning does. We may have a site walk, and if we do, I'll do my best to join it. I personally don't think it's necessary, but that's all I've got. Thank you for your presentation.
Mike, are you still with us?
I'm here. Nothing additional from me.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so I'm just looking for a wetland report. If we can get one, that would be great.
Yes, not a problem.
So how many of you would like to have a site walk?
I would.
Peter, 1, Cheryl, 2.
Well, yeah, like I said, either that or some good photographs.
Okay. Rick, no?
I'm with Cheryl. I mean, I'll go if you have a site walk. I don't really think it's necessary if we get a wetland
Okay.
report and get some photos.
Mike, where do you stand?
I'm agreed. Same.
Okay. All right. So, David, it looks like if we could get some good photographs, and maybe, you could put, like some numbers on the plan itself so we can see,
Yes.
where the pictures are being taken from, all the way along. That would be great. If it's not sufficient, in our next meeting, we can always extend it one more time to have a walk. So I think at this point, then, sounds like if you could do that for us and be prepared next month, that would be good. Hopefully next month we'll meet in person and we'll be able to see the plan. So, okay. So, anybody else have anything? Joe, I didn't ask you. Do you have anything more?
Yeah, I do actually. What I would like to see as a plan revision would be the E&S measures adjacent to the the driveway and the wetlands because of the proximity and the amount of filling that's going to be going into the incline where the driveway heads up to the house. I'd like to see the E&S measures beefed up to silt fence backed by staked hay bales. I would like to see that also down gradient of the septic system. That's a pretty steep slope there, you know, and in the way we've been getting these rainstorms, if we get a 2 or 3 inch rainstorm, that driveway will turn into a big flume. So definitely want to see some upgraded E&S measures. Probably wouldn't hurt either where you guys are doing the widening and the improvements on the lower portion of the driveway.
Okay, not a problem.
Yep. Other than that, I don't have any issues.
Sorry about the phone. I can't get it. All right. So, looks like we have a good application, just missing some pictures and a soil scientist report. When do you think that might get to us, David?
I know our soil scientist is in the field all of the rest of this week, so I would hope to have that to you by the end of next week,
Okay.
along
all
with
right.
pictures. I did try and take photos last time I was out here, but when I was looking through them, it just ended up being green.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking with the leaves coming down, I'll be able to get much better photos for you this time
Okay.
around.
All right. Okay. So I think we're good. So, may I have a motion to accept the application?
I'll move, Peter.
Okay. And a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Thank you, Rick. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you, David.
All right, thank you all for your time this evening. Have a good night.
Okay, moving on to agents report. Joe, do you have anything to report?
Yeah, I got a few things. Number one, I'm happy to report that the Gronus's pond is pretty much fully done. They did an awesome job on it. Everything is good and stable. It's all been seeded and mulched. I walked the perimeter. I didn't see literally didn't see a bit of sediment in the adjacent wetlands all the way around the berm of the pond. I actually took some photos, so I should be able to email those to you guys if you want. But everything came out good. So second thing I have is 96 Knott Highway. You guys are probably aware that they haven't done anything yet as far as the plantings or the fencing or basically anything to do with what they proposed. I spoke with, oh God, what was his name? I'm having a memory lapse here. Daryl, you remember the guy's name? I emailed you back. Ron
I know.
Godet. Ron Godet. He's the gentleman that presented the application for them and drew all the plans up and stuff. I spoke with him the end of last week, and he didn't really have a great answer for me. He just said, "No, we haven't gotten it done, Joe. We've been trying to get it done, but we just haven't." So that's probably something we need to deal with. We gave them guys a deadline to get that stuff done. At least get the wetland plantings and stuff done. And now we're outside the window for that happening. So the next available shot at that is in the spring. So you guys should probably discuss what you want to do with that.
Right. His name is Ron Godot.
Yeah, Ron Godet. Yeah.
Well, I think, we should probably be on record in writing somehow, Joe. If something should really come of this, I want to give, everybody as much opportunity as we can. So if maybe you could send them a quick letter and just, put forward the dates that they had, agreed to do these things by, and just point out
Yep.
that they have not been done and that you've been down there numerous times. You've
Yep.
reached out to various people with
Yep.
no reasonable response, and that and remind them that the cease and desist order is still in force. And ask them the earliest convenience to get back to you. Give them your phone number and
Yep.
and that's it. Okay. Anybody
Okay,
else want
all
to
right.
add anything to the letter?
Yeah, I mean, I think that even though they can't do the plantings until spring, it's too late really, or it's almost too late. Until the ground freezes, they could still get that fence in, and they are currently out of compliance with their permit. And it's only a matter of time before the original complainant is back to us,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So
Yeah.
I think it's really important that we point out that, that we're not going to forget that they
Yeah.
need to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, do a good letter for us, Joe. So something, like I say, if anything does come of this, we'll at least have given proper notice and all that.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
You might
All right.
consider adding at the end before further enforcement becomes necessary. I think you need to make it clear to them that we're getting real serious. I agree with Cheryl. I think that we're gonna fall under some heat pretty quickly if we don't get something done. Next, if he doesn't get
I
started
concur.
soon, if he doesn't get started soon, the next thing we're gonna hear is, well, we can't do anything now because it's frozen, and he's gonna be right. So, yeah,
Yep.
I'd sure like
Yep.
to see some kind of activity there. If he doesn't finish, I guess I could live with that, but I'd certainly like to see him get started.
Okay. Anything else under agents report, Joe?
Yes, one other issue. As you guys are painfully aware of the 33 Amadon Drive wetland application, they've been working on getting their stuff done. I've been doing inspections. The only thing I really had to talk to them about was silt fencing that needed to be correctly installed, but everything is going, pretty much like clockwork over there. However, I did receive a complaint from Kay Warren at 31 Amadon. She said that they were doing things outside the scope of their permit. So I went over there to find that they are grading a parking area directly adjacent to their house, which is an area that they were, previously parking their car there. But what they ended up doing was they filled in the area, put down like stone dust and crushed stone to just basically make an area to park their car. This was not part, well, at least it wasn't clearly part of the original application that they put in front of us. The site plan that they put in front of us showed grading in that area, but it didn't specify exactly that it was going to be a stone dust and crushed stone parking area. So Mrs. Warren is complaining that that we need to enforce our regulations and deal with this as essentially a violation because it's not what they proposed. My opinion on this is that number one, the application in that area was fairly vague. It didn't specify that they were going to upgrade the parking area. The other side of it is I don't see that the construction of this area is promoting or causing any impacts to the wetlands or the pond in any way, shape, or form. But I do think we need to at least address this and at least get your opinions on it one way or another. Again, it's technically they didn't show this exactly on their plan, but they did say that they were going to be doing grading in that upper yard area. So that's where I'm at.
it's pretty far away from the pond though, right?
Oh, yeah, it's adjacent to their house. It's an area, like I said, and it's an area, it's right over their septic, their dry well, their septic area.
Yeah.
They've had Eastern Highlands out there. They don't have any issues with it. I don't have any issues with it. It doesn't, it's not going to be something that's going to make any impacts to the pond. It's not like they're sloping it down and they're parking cars near the water or anything like that. It's all the way up by the house, right adjacent to the existing driveway that comes in there.
Right. But, I wonder if maybe they could just send us a simple letter, asking to make a small amendment to the permit that they have. And just, I don't think you even need a sketch of it. I think we just need to have a written explanation, like what you were saying, we did intend to do some grading out there, but whatever the reason was due to the storms or whatever, we realized that we needed some additional, stone dust to complete the driveway in a better, more workmanlike manner, something to
Okay.
those, and at least we have something in our file. So for next
All right.
month, Joe, then if you could please put under the old business, we'll put this in there and we'll also put not highway. So that,
Yeah, I'm just jotting notes down here as you're talking. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
and
Okay.
see if we can, I'd like to get a letter from not highway as well. But
Well,
definitely.
like I said, when I spoke with Ron, I said, you really should attend the next meeting because the commission may have questions for you, regarding, why.
Yeah.
And of course, and I sent him a copy of the agenda, but
Yeah.
obviously he's not on. So
Yeah.
All right, I can take care of that.
Okay. All right. Any other report, Joe?
Not that I know of. No, we're
Okay,
good.
thank you. Item 7, members' comments. Anybody have any comments? None? Okay. Item 8 is adjourn. Would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Thank you, Cheryl.
I'll
Second,
second.
Rick second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you, guys. Good job.